Let's go over Buck's training so that we can stay consistent at home. So, whenever he's offering behaviors that we want to keep on seeing, that could be just following our commands, being polite, relaxing, anything like that. We want to make sure that we're following through with a reward. That way, he understands that we want to see these behaviors more often and he'll be more likely to offer them. And then, if he's ever offering a behavior that we don't want to see, that could be jumping on us, being a little too crazy, or breaking any of our commands, we want to make sure that we're communicating with our equipment right here. That way he can understand that we don't like those behaviors and he'll offer them less. So going over his equipment, this is his prong collar. He's been doing great on it. This collar is going to be the one closest up to his ears. So if he has both of his collars on, this one's going to be the one at the very top. And how it works is if he's offering any of those unwanted behaviors, say he's being a little squirrely on a walk and he's bouncing up to the side or ahead of us, we'll tell him no, do a little pop and release of the prong collar, and then continue on with our walk. How you take it on and off is you'll hold one of the links just like that and slide those two loops up. Once you see these two loops, you'll squeeze those and wiggle them free. And then to put it back, you'll line the two prongs up with these two loops, slide one end in slightly, and then you can squeeze the other one back through, and there you go. And then this is his remote collar right here. How you turn it on and off is you'll find the little red dot. There's one on the side of the remote and one on the side of the collar, and you'll touch those two together. Once the collar flashes green, it is on. To turn on the remote, there's an L button on the back. You'll press and hold until you see that light turn on, and then the remote's on. And how this one works, it's very similar to the prong collar. So whenever he's offering any of those unwanted behaviors, instead of using the pop of the prong, we can use this black S button on the side right here. So say he's been a little squirrely and jumping ahead of us again, we can tell him no, click that black S button, and then continue on with our walk. So no, black S button, and then continuing on. And then let's go over his commands. So starting off with heel. Heel is that nice loose leash walking position on our right-hand side. Whenever he's in the correct position, we want to make sure that we're rewarding him so that he understands that's exactly where he needs to be. And we could reward him with praise, petting, treats, anything that he enjoys. And then if he's being a little squirrely, jumping ahead of us, maybe getting a little too distracted, we can tell him heel and give him a little pop with the leash to bring him back to where he needs to be. Usually during a walk, we'll only have him in that heel command around 80 or 90% of the time. The other 10 and 20%, he'll be in his free. And free just means that he's able to go sniff, do his business, hang out, as long as he's not offering any of those unwanted behaviors. And if he is, we're still going to communicate with him with his training equipment so that he understands that, hey, even though we're still doing something else, you're not allowed to offer any of those behaviors. And then next we have sit and down. So both of these commands have implied stays, meaning once we have him in a sit or a down, he's not allowed to move until we release him. So for example, if we have him sit before we open a door, if we go to reach for the door or open it and he gets up, we're going to tell him no, put him back in that sit, and we're going to open that door until he stays in that position. So practicing anything that he messes up until he gets it right so that he can learn and grow. And then to release him from any of his positions, his commands, we will just tell him free and he'll understand that he can get up. Next we have place. So place is a boundary stay. So whenever he's on place, he's allowed to sit, he can stand, lay down, anything like that, as long as he's not offering any of those unwanted behaviors, he's good to go. So this one especially is great if you have people coming over, maybe if you're making dinner or something exciting is going on. You can have him on that place bed so that he can be excited over there, wiggly in his own space, but he's not disturbing us, jumping on us, anything like that. And then whenever we're practicing this one, we want to make sure that we're rewarding him on the bed so that he knows that's the good spot, that's his boundary, that's where he needs to stay. And then same thing, to release him, we'll tell him free and release him off of the bed. And then for any of his stay commands, we want to make sure when we're releasing him, we're right next to him. That way he doesn't start to build any patterns of getting off the bed by himself. Next, we have come when called. So whenever we're practicing this one, we want to have a super long leash on him. That way, if he decides he's going to stay distracted, stay out of our space, and ignore us, we have a way to reel him in, kind of like a fish, to establish that boundary. So how this one works, once he's distracted, we'll tell him come, nice, loud, and firm, and he'll run to our space. Once he's in our space, he'll go into a sit position, and then from there, you're able to reward. With this one, we want to make sure that we're rewarding every single time so that we're the fun space and he's more likely to come back even if he's doing something super fun. So we want to be the fun spot even if he's out there sniffing, exploring. So if we have to reel him in like a fish, we're still going to reward. And then next we have leave it. So leave it, whenever we're practicing this one, we want to have a leash on as well. That way we can keep him safe if he does decide to go for whatever object. I would recommend starting out with a dog safe toy or treat. That way he's not in any danger if he does try to go get whatever you throw. So you're going to lightly toss whatever you're practicing with away from him and tell him leave it. He'll go into a sit or a down, and once he's in that sit or a down, we can reward him from our hand. Once he's able to go get that object, we're going to tell him free and then point to the object and say okay to let him know that he's allowed to have it. So once again, we toss something away from him, we tell him leave it. Once he sits, we reward him, release him, and then tell him okay if it's an object he's allowed to have. If it's something he's not allowed to have, we're going to keep him in that sit position, go retrieve and pick up whatever object that is, and then we can release him from there. And then that is all of his commands. So now we're going to watch him go do them out in public.
is a steal. Oh, he is. But I'm sure it's measures for that. Yeah.
Alrighty, so now we're going to go over some of the other features of his remote collar. So the on and off button is going to be this L button on the back right here. To turn on and off the remote, you're going to line up these two little red dots, one right here and one right here. If you just tap that L button on the back instead of press and hold, like to turn it on and off, just tap it, it'll have that flickering light. And that's just another feature, just like a flashlight. If you tap it again, it'll have that solid light on. A third time, we'll turn it off. So the on and off button, you'll press and hold. If you just tap it, it activates the flashlight feature. On the side right here, this is that T button. It's the vibrate setting. So whenever you press it, it's just going to send that vibrate to the collar. He doesn't associate this with anything, so usually I use it to tell if the collar's dead or if I forgot to turn it on. You can use that vibrate setting. On the other side, you'll see that black S button and that red S button. The black S button is going to be your normal use. So whenever he's offering any of those unwanted behaviors, you can tell him no, press that button, and then move on. The red S button is going to be for emergencies only. So it's set for 25 levels above whatever it's currently on. So for example, if he's on level 25, if you press this button, it'll jump it up to level 50. So that's for emergencies. It matches his adrenaline. So if he's doing something that gives up some of his safety, we can use this to communicate with him if he's not responding to that black S button. So this red one is for emergencies. Black S button is your everyday. And then right now, his level is unlocked. So that just means if you twist this, it'll adjust what number is displayed on the screen right there. If you want to lock it into place, so say we have him on level 16 and we don't want it to move. If we want to lock it into place, we can press and hold this knob right here, and it'll flash to lock. To unlock it, you'll just press and hold it again. It'll flash when it's unlocked. And then on the back right here, you'll see this little flap right here. If you lift it up, it has a charging port for the charger. The charge port for the remote collar itself is going to be in between the two prongs right here. And it is waterproof, so if he ends up getting wet for whatever reason, that's totally fine. I would just recommend, if he's going to stay wet for a longer amount of time, rotating where it sits on his neck so that it's not irritating him at all. And then this collar is going to be the first one that goes on in the morning and the last thing that comes off at night. So if you're ever home with him, he'll have this collar on so that we can communicate with him. It does hold a pretty good charge. Usually, if you have it on him for 12-hour days, it'll last 2 to 3 days. And then to charge it, it's super fast. Usually, it's fully charged within 2 hours. So first thing on in the morning, last thing off at night. If he's ever in a crate or unattended, you can take it off as well, so he's not getting stuck on anything. But other than that, if you don't have any questions, let us know. But you are all set to have fun and stay consistent.